Hey there! In this video we're going to be learning how to do semi-automation and full automation. So before we begin, you have probably noticed that my English is bad and I'm sorry, but please try to follow along. It's very easy, you just have to get used to it. Okay, so first, under variables, let's add a list, we'll call it IP list, okay? And let's add an IP range. Okay. Now, how would we ping everything here in this list? If you try to do this won't work because you can't just use lists in connections. That's impossible. But you can ask variable loop to split into each segment, into each IP on its own, and use that. It kinda sounds confusing when I say it like this, but let me show you. So, let's add a variable loop, and this is our list which we are going to use, okay? And on success, let's try pinging and see what happens. But what do we ping? You see, you see the name of the variable loop. The same name new variable will be created with the same name as variable loop. It will have equals in front of it, so you know it's a temporary variable. It will disappear once the variable loop disappears. Okay, so on success, let's add a ping. Okay, now when the ping is successful, we have to tell the variable loop to actually loop. So we're going to say continue loop, and we select which variable is actually used here. So we are using variable loop 0, and we're going to loop that. And it will have lower priority than the actual ping, so it executes less. And that's pretty much it. If you look down here where my mouse is, you will actually see that it's pinging. Yep. But right now, how do we know what was successful and what have failed? We can't see that, right? Well, there is a way. If we go through here and create a new variable log, we're going to use this later on as well, so let's call it main log, save variables. Let's go to our application, our connections. In continue loop we have priority 15, so we'll create a new logger, and we're going to create it here on success. Okay. And our variable is going to be main log. Okay, it has this will be executed second, so it has to be lower priority than ping and higher than continue loop, so 25 will do. In connections we're going to add our ping. Okay, we will save and we execute those tasks, so now it will ping and save everything. Okay, and it's done. If we edit variable, you see we have 10 pings. We can open it and we can look at it. Okay, pings do not return any output or errors or any commands, so we can see that they are here. Okay, from 1 to 10, and their port is 0 as well. I will show you exporting later. Let me continue here. So this is solid, but pretty much most of the applications that help you with networking can ping multiple IPs. But this variable loop can be used for anything. So let us create an automated loop with predefined IPs and predefined commands, and the username and password that we are going to use. Okay, we have our IPs here, which I'm going to lower them, but let me show you first something. We are never resetting this main loop. I deleted the comments. So we have to make sure that we reset this before we can execute it, because it's going to fill up. Okay? And that's very easy to do. So let's begin by adding another variable called command list, and it's going to be a text, and we are going to add the message. Oh yeah, I forgot. And maybe ls. Yep. So let's now try to use these two to create automated loops. Also, let's add a static username as text. So I have a username and password as text. It's not a list, but hide content, and that will be this. Okay. If we go to add a new connection, and we can actually go to connection builder. First, we have to make sure that our log is reset. We can ask a user, does he want to reset or not? So we can add a connection called dialog, highest priority, maybe execution, maybe starting execution. How do you want to reset logs? I don't know, it's up to you what you will write. Okay, and on success we are going to add a reset, and that will be our main log under variables. Okay, that's pretty much done. So after that, let's add a new variable loop with our IPs, and then let's ping them first to make sure they are alive before we begin anything. Okay, so we can say ping and ping that variable. Okay, if that ping fails, let's continue with this. Let's not go any further. Okay, so on fail, then we'll add a check to make sure it's not a trigger fail. Under ping 0 result trigger fail. Okay, and if it's not a trigger fail, then we are going to continue our first. Okay, which is our IPs. That's pretty much done. So let's continue with ping. If ping was successful, then we can start working with SSH and commands. So let's create another variable loop which is going to hold our commands, which is the message and ls. Yep. As long as this is successful, we want to SSH our first variable loop, our username, our password, and our variable loop1 as a command. Okay, port is 22, we will not change it, and this is the highest priority. Okay, after that we want to log everything. We are going to log here, and we are going for SSH 0. Okay, middle priority, and we want to continue loop with our commands, which is our variable loop1 with lowest priority. So execute SSH, then logger, then continue loop, as long as this variable loop is successful. That is, we don't care if this fails. If this fails, we will get a log that says what fails, so it's okay. But when this variable loop fails, that means there is no more commands. We have to continue with this. Okay, so we're going to add a check that is going to be under variable loop1. We'll say result not trigger failed, because I do not distinguish between fail and trigger fail. They are both fails, so you have to use checks to make sure that you do not create infinite loops. So if it's not a trigger fail, then we are going to continue loop our variable loop 0. Okay. And that's pretty much it, even though it looks kinda a lot, because there is a lot of text here. But in a nutshell, it's very small. So let's execute and hope for the best. Do you want to execute logs? Yeah, do you want to reset logs? Yes, let's clean the logs first. So it will go slower. Okay, so it pinged all 10 of them. We can check our main log. We have only one IP with 2 commands, which is the message and ls. Okay, very easy. And we can see that the message has some info. Since this is my second account, I don't have any files to show you in ls, but it's okay, you will understand. So, when this works, this is full automation. So you will just change here what do you want. Maybe I don't want ls, maybe I want only the message. In this IP list, maybe I just want 2 IPs. I don't know. Now if we execute everything, we won't clear logs this time. So I just wait for this pinging to complete. Okay. If we check the logs now, we have 3 SSH, so which is the message ls and the new SD message. Okay. So if we click export to document, we can export it to desktop, which when we open it will show us whatever happened. So SSH executed the message and everything what happened here. Okay. In the next command, SSH had no errors, and there it stops. In the WordPad you don't have new pages, but if you open it in Microsoft Word or OpenOffice, you will have new commands on new pages. Okay. And then it goes for ls, which has nothing. Then it goes again for the third one, the message, and so forth and so on. So you can keep those logs somewhere and check them later. Okay. Very easy for now. So let's continue with semi-automation. We won't change this dialog. This dialog works fine. Okay. But I have to constantly go back and remember to change IP lists and to change the command list. We can make a connection that will ask you to change the variables before it starts executing, so you do not forget. Or you can change it in the middle of execution, however you want. But you first have to execute. First you have to change the variable before you use it, otherwise it might bug up. So let's create a dynamic variable called the same we'll call IP list. It's going to be a list, but you see we don't have anything to type in. It's dynamic, so you can only change it during execution. Okay, so let's go for command list. Okay, everything good. Let's go back here. Oh, I want only dialog and reset here. We don't need anything else. Okay, this is on highest priority, which is nice. Okay, let's add a new connection. We'll call edit variable, which is going to be editing. Whoa, we set command list as IP, which is not what we want. We want command list to be text. Okay, we can continue. We will add an edit variable. So IP list, okay, it will execute after this. Add a new variable again. Command list, which will execute right after command list. Okay, and then we can proceed. We'll proceed with the variable loop, which will be our IP list. But our priority, let's make it one, let's make it last. So everything else is the same. So on success ping, that ping will be variable loop 0. If that ping fails, we are going to check it, and if that ping's result not trigger failed, and then we can continue loop our first variable. Okay, on success variable loop 2, which is our command list, and on success bet we are going to be doing SSH, this IP, this username, this password, and we are going to be doing this, okay, as a command. Highest priority. After that, let's log the SSH. Okay, S0. And at the very end, we are going to be continuing our second loop. So we execute every single command. And if this variable loop fails, then it means it probably finished looping. So let's check if that fail is not trigger fail. And if it's not a trigger fail, then we are going to continue looping the first one. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We execute, reset logs, okay. You can also right click and add IP range. Let's add the message, let's add ls, okay. They click save, and then we just wait. Okay, that's pretty much it. If we add the variable, you can see only 2 SSHs, which is my first, executed with the message and else. So that's pretty much it when it comes to my app. Of course, there's a lot more things to do and explore, but that's up to you. So expect the download very soon, and see you later.